challenge the court's decision.
This is so wrong. This is just so wrong. This election should have been called off. You know, they're telling us to stay in the house and, you know, stand 6 feet from each other. But then one of the most important times, they're forcing us to come out here in a group. Stop playing politics with our lives.
My next guest echoed those sentiments in a Washington Post op-ed, calling on the country to get in line with his state and vote by mail. Joining me now, former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, who's a candidate for the United States Senate in Colorado. Governor, good to see you again. I think we talked 24 hours ago, but let's talk about this. We got a different topic here. You know, we have seen pictures of people in other parts of the world take their lives into their own hands by voting because voting places, polling places are targeted by terrorists and insurgents. That's not supposed to happen in America. On one hand, I admire all these people who went out and said, we've got the vote, we've fought for the franchise, we're going to vote. But on the other hand, it does seem unreasonable in this time of stay at home to cause people to line up to vote.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we take voting for granted too often in this country. And the bottom line is, what we showed in Colorado, so 6 years ago, we went to an all-mail ballot. And what that means is that everybody gets a ballot mailed to them at home. Now, they can still come in and vote on Election Day, just like they always have if they want to. But it allows them to sit at their kitchen table, make this important decision, and then send in their ballot. We track every ballot so that we can be pretty darn sure there's not fraud, despite what the president might say. And here's the key, right? We've increased turnout. We're keeping people safe, especially in this time of COVID-19, and we save money, $6 per voter. And when you're talking about a couple million voters, that's real money.
I want you to listen to an exchange that the president had with a reporter about mail-in ballots. Noteworthy, the president, by the way, did vote by mail in the last election. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Mail ballots, they cheat, okay? People cheat. Mail ballots are a very dangerous thing for this country because they're cheaters. They collect them and they get people to go in and sign them, and then they're forgeries in many cases. It's a horrible thing.
You were highly critical of mail-in voting, mail-in ballots for voting.
I think mail-in voting is horrible.
You voted by mail in Florida's election last month, didn't you?
Sure, I could vote by mail for that.
How do you reconcile
because I'm allowed to.
Because I'm allowed to. The whole point is allowing people to vote by mail. Governor, the president seems to be referring to an incident in North Carolina where a guy actually was going around and collecting people's ballots. It was a criminal matter. It overturned an election there. But in fact, there's no widespread evidence that mail-in voting increases fraud.
Yeah, we do a very focused, rigorous audit on every election. And so statistically, we're looking at different groups of votes as they come in and inspecting them and looking at every possibility that there could be fraud involved. And there are some isolated incidences of a few votes here and a few votes there, but absolutely no evidence of any kind in all of these audits that suggests that there's fraud affecting the outcomes of our elections. In no way.
I want you to listen to what one Wisconsin poll worker was saying to assure people about the safety of voting, particularly because they've got curbside voting. I want to just listen to this and get your comment on it.
You can come to a polling place and do it safely. You have the ability to do curbside voting, just like they're doing here, even if it's in a different municipality without drive-up voting. You can request that the person come out. They'll deliver you a ballot. They'll check your ID. You are incredibly safe to go out.
What do you make of a situation like that? Obviously, I mean, this guy's in full protective gear with a mask on. Is that an alternative for us, curbside voting, where you go and hand in a ballot, you don't go and sort of touch a whole bunch of equipment?
Yeah, I think that's another alternative, although I'd rather see that ballot, the voter should put that ballot into some sort of a mailbox or something like that where it's secure and nobody's having to be exposed as the voters come by. You know, the other thing about this that I think is very powerful is it's not just vote by mail. It's also getting more people registered to vote. I think we should all, every American, I mean, we're a democracy. We should all care about more people voting. And I'm on the side of making it easier to vote for everybody. And they can choose to come in and vote on Election Day if they want, but they can just put their ballot in the mail if that's easier for them. And certainly from senior citizens, a large number of them overwhelmingly support this notion of ease of voting and vote by mail.
Well, we certainly should be doing anything to make it easier for people to vote, not harder. Governor, good to see you. Governor John Hickenlooper, former governor of Colorado and now a current candidate for the United States Senate. Now, the decision in Wisconsin boiled down to a technical fight, but it was a fight between the state's Democratic governor and a Republican in the state's Republicans in the state's legislature. On Monday, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers